Ba-da-ba-bam-bam. Banger Management Fantasy Hockey Podcast. Woo!
Woo! That was
very
maybe,
nice.
That was maybe the best jingle I've ever heard, Jakey.
Ooh.
And I'm not just saying that because the two best hosts are here today.
Okay, welcome to Banger Management, the Fantasy Hockey Podcast with Jake and Kevin. Josh is out for this one, unfortunately.
Keep him in your thoughts and prayers, but he's happy. He's high on some NyQuil and Dayquil right now, so he'll be better in the near future. But in the meantime, at least you have the two best hosts.
There you go. Today, our Week 20 waivers episode. Before we dive in, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. We are there. We appreciate all the comments on Apple, Spotify, all the ratings. We're almost at 100 ratings on Spotify. Very cool. Very fun.
Listen, you could be lucky number 100 soon.
You could. And we know what happens when we hit 100.
No, we said 150.
Fine.
We said 150.
Okay. Give this video a like on YouTube if you're watching over there. And if you like the video, of course, and subscribe to our channel. That is super helpful to us. We really appreciate all our subscribers and everyone who will be subscribing. Join the Discord community. You can see that in the podcast description. Great place to interact with all of you. It's made this whole season so fun, so great, and it's just a great place to be.
This is the best
and
place
all
to
the
be.
socials are in the podcast description as well. Yes, it is the best place to be, the Discord community. So, sorry, Proface?
Yeah, Proface. you know me, Proface. But listen, this is going up Sunday morning for everybody that's in their week. Going into their week 20 playoff matchups. But we just had the trade deadline right before this. So if you're expecting some trade deadline news, we'll give you some tidbits here. But literally tomorrow or the day after that, our official news trade deadline episode will be coming out. So everything will be covered there. So you can look forward to that episode and hear our regular I don't know what the TV term is, but you know what I mean. Regular broadcasting, regular
scheduled programming?
Yeah, scheduled programming. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, that's it.
Regular scheduled programming for everybody that's looking for some waiver help looking into this next upcoming week. The last week before most fantasy playoffs. So it's a big one. You got to make some important moves. Use your ads wisely. And that's what we're here to help.
That's it. Okay, so let's review our choices from Week 19. We had Anthony Mantha. That's a win. 4 games played. He got 2 points. Pretty good.
He had some solid category coverage, too.
Yeah. Yes, he did. Then Gabe Landeskog. 4 games played. 5 points. Mm-hmm. That's a big win.
He was.
That's tremendous. And then Elias Lindholm, womp womp, 3 games, 1 point. That is an L.
Disappointing for that one. But 2 for 3 is not a bad ratio to have.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. And that brings us to 33 wins and 18 losses. Not a good pickups on the season. 33 and 18 is pretty good.
It's pretty good.
We're almost doubling. If we could end the season, we would have to hit on all 3 this week, and I think we can. Some pretty good choices over here.
I think we just need to stop prioritizing, Josh's players on these lists, because Josh is always putting his players top. Like Elias Lindholm, he's got him on his team. Of course, he put him first, and of course, it didn't work out, right?
That's it. I could already like think of him. Like I can imagine him listening to this, be like, "Why Iona?" Like all bad.
His rule that he came up with last time was no more Seattle players in the top 3, and I think the rule moving forward is no more of Josh's players in the top 3. I think that's what we have to say.
That's it. That's true. That was the only L from last week. But if we hit on all 3, we're officially doubling our good pickups. So 2 bad pickups. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
I know what you're saying.
36 to 18, 2 to 1 ratio. Okay, cool. So only 2-game team this upcoming week are the New Jersey Devils. It's an interesting one because, as we know, New Jersey has a very decent playoff schedule. So that's a tough spot.
You know what it is that I have to ask when these 2-game teams. Who are you dropping? Because this is the week leading into the playoffs. A lot of people are in must-win matchups right now. Who on the New Jersey Devils are you considering dropping that only has a 2-game week? Because if we're going by roster percentage, I can just give you the names. Jack Hughes.
Sure.
You're not dropping Jack Hughes, right? No. Are you dropping Nico Hischier, 88% owned?
It's crazy that that's even a thinker, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's look, I don't think you can. First of all, in a face-offs league, I know that's not what we talk about, but this needs to be said just because he's an absolute monster in that category. Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, absolutely not. In a non-face-off league, I still don't think so. His shots and blocks have been really, or sorry, his shots and hits have been really decent as of late. And although his points have been quite disappointing overall, there is still the potential, and you want it in the playoffs. Now, if you're in a real pinch and you have like a Pierre-Luc Dubois on your roster,
Hmm.
or sorry, on your waivers, not to spoil anyone from our list. He is there. Yes, I'm making that swap.
So 4 games of PLD, you would cut Nico Hischier, that has 2 games
Yeah.
for 4 games of PLD.
Yeah, but in a league like in a deep enough league where the highest roster percentage guy that, like, for instance, we have is Nikishin. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
so
It
so
really
it's one of
depends
those.
on how deep your league is. If you're in a 10-team league, I think honestly you could probably cut Nico Hischier. If you're in a must-win matchup and you're desperate to, like, win this game. If you're
Yeah.
set for the playoffs, I would not make any rash moves like that. But I think Nico Hischier is definitely like I guess there's only one guy on New Jersey that you're keeping. I think Dougie Hamilton. That's another question. PP1 Dougie Hamilton has been excellent for your fantasy teams.
Yeah.
I would try to keep Dougie Hamilton if possible. I think there's no other defenseman that have 4 games that is available in most leagues that I would rather have over Dougie's 2 games. I think
Yeah.
there's no
Yeah,
defenseman on
I
our top 10
agree.
list this week and we go over 40% and below. So if you have
Yeah.
good options, then I can consider it, obviously. But in a lot of leagues, that's not the case. Jesper Bratt, I think you can expand Jesper Bratt to make sure you make the playoffs this season.
Wow.
Timo Meyer, I think, is the next name. I think he's the last one that's like widely owned. I would
Yeah.
cut Timo Meyer if you need to absolutely win this week and you want to prioritize games added. Luke Hughes, same
Yeah,
boat. He's 63% owned. He just got healthy. I would cut him.
I agree. Markstrom,
Yes.
you're
Um,
cutting him?
I mean, listen, if you're
He's been excellent.
yeah, he's been
Like,
really good. He's gonna get 2 games this week. You can still hold Markstrom.
I would hold Markstrom. I would definitely hold Markstrom. Yeah,
It
and
depends
I
how
agree
valuable
basically.
your goalie cats are, because some leagues have like volume really is rewarded. So if you can get like 4 games of a different goalie by like streaming the position properly, or like making
Yeah.
2 ads for a goalie, I would consider it. But I'm not pressed to drop Markstrom.
Yeah, in any standard league, based on how good his past 6 games have been, I'm keeping Markstrom if I can. Okay, and then a bunch of 4-game teams. We'll talk about those. The busy nights are Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then the 2 off night teams: Edmonton, Montreal, Ottawa, Philadelphia, St. Louis, and Washington. So let's dive into our top 10. What do we call this? Points, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, Josh usually does
Points,
it.
guys. We got some bangers, guys, in here, but these are guys that you basically want to prioritize for like overall value as a stream. So let's get
Yeah.
into it with number 10.
At number 10, we have Anthony Mantha, line 3, power play 1, 3 games this week, 4 next week. This is interesting because the Malkin suspension, I don't know how valuable this power play 1 is going to be in the very near term.
I still like the power play 1 exposure. I think it's been proven that this Pittsburgh power play can still click even though some of the elite pieces are not there. It's still
Yeah.
the sixth ranked power play in the league. I think he's lower on this list because he only has 3 games. There's only 2 guys on this list that have 3 games this week. Everybody else has a 4-game week. And leading into the playoffs, that's what you want. But if you need exposure to a top power play and a guy that probably will get a bump in minutes given some big pieces around him are missing, Mata's always serviceable. He'll get you close to that 2 shots a game that you're looking for. He can get some
Yeah.
points. I think it's a safe pick, it feels like. But only a 3-game week. So if a lot of these 4-game weeks are available ahead of them, that would be the priority.
Yes, exactly. Okay, next one. We
At
have
number 9.
that works. As the episode goes on, our chemistry is going to be
Yes.
clicking. You and Josh already have like your segue set up. But yes, at number 9, we have, speaking of which, Josh Norris of the Buffalo Sabres, line 3, power play 1, 3 games this week, 4 next week. I mean, look at the season average here. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's excellent. So, yeah, what do you think?
He delivers when he's on the ice. He's just not on the ice very often.
Yeah.
I have him on my fantasy team. I've been kind of like an outspoken voice for Josh Norris's potential value throughout the whole season. And when he's on the ice, I was gonna say when he's on the field. When he's on the ice, You're getting like 0.9 points per game, which is excellent. The fact that he's still on power play 1 is the big deal here because line 3 is not something to write home about, but it's kind of like a line 2.5. Like the line 2 and the line 3 are interchangeable in ice time, but he always has that potential of, getting put with Tage Thompson on line 1. I don't think it's likely. I'm not picking him up with that in mind, but you know that in the back of your mind, it's always a possibility. He's delivering, and I think Josh Norris is heating up. Week 19 was a big week for him. It was the trade deadline week. There was rumors that he was going the other way in the Robert Thomas deal that never ended up materializing. I like Josh Norris. I still like Josh Norris. I think he has some shots, points, combo. You're not going to get him for the hits like in years past, but he's very valuable. Only 3 games this week, though. In terms of Buffalo assets, I think he's cementing himself ahead of that tier. Like, we always mention the Zuckers, the Dones. I think I'm really going with Josh Norris ahead of those guys at this point. But I'm still prioritizing all these other guys that have 4 games.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, he could be good, though. But and I do like it going into the playoffs, and I think he'll have a strong finish. So as long as he's healthy, I think that he could have a really, really good rest of the season.
Week 21, Week 21, first week, probably the quarterfinals in a lot of championship leagues. He's got 4 games. So if you're pretty set for the playoffs and you're just looking to optimize for week 21, I think he's one of the guys that I would like the most.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, next one we have
number 8.
At number 8, we have of the Anaheim Ducks, Chris Kreider, line 1, power play 1. 4 games this week, 3 the week after, but they have a 3-3-4 in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I expect, look, they're in first place right now in the Pacific Division. They're going to have to keep winning games, though. This is not a lock for first at all. It's super tight there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that he's going to be a big part of their continued success rest of the season, and I do like it for this week and the week after.
Kreider has been kind of hot and cold. Like his category coverage has been almost non-existent. If you look at his game log for the last few weeks, he's not really consistent in the shots, the hits, or the blocks or anything like that. That's not what you're expecting. He just had a major blow-up game against the
Huge,
Habs.
yeah.
Against the Habs last Friday. 4 points, 4 shots, a power play point. Listen, the deployment hasn't always been there, but it is there now. It's a 4-game week in a must-win matchup to make your fantasy playoffs. I think streaming a guy on the Anaheim Ducks that are currently winning games, they have a pretty good schedule this upcoming week too. I would be very interested in streaming Chris Kreider. We have him as number 8 on the list. He's the first guy on this list that has 4 games this upcoming week. I think Josh is the one that makes our top 10 list. So unfortunately he is not here because he is sick, but don't worry, he'll be back at some point. Who knows? Maybe Jakey is keeping him in his basement. But Jakey is nodding no for all those listening on Spotify. But I think he's lower on this list because the volatility of the deployment. But when he has it, he can deliver.
Yeah, exactly. Not great in the shots hits this season. That's another thing to mention.
Mm-hmm.
He's been good at that in the past. Like on New York, it was really good. But I think points wise, it's going to be safe rest of the season, and I really like the 4 games. Next, Washington Oh, sorry.
That's fine. Washington Capitals at number 7.
Oh yeah, cool.
That was a close one. Yeah, I saved you.
We have Pierre-Luc Dubois, PLD, line 2, power play 2, and doing everything right with that deployment so far.
Bacon, lettuce, tomato, baby.
Really good. Yeah. Okay, yeah, no. I like this line too, by the way. It's just like a really strong line too, playing with Wilson and Protas, and especially Protas.
Protas the GOAT.
Who I think is
Mr. 6'6". He's 6'7".
Yeah, Protas. He's so tall.
Yeah.
he's actually out for personal reasons now, but no indication that he's going to be out long term. So
yeah, we'll see. But PLD, when he came back, he was on fire. People really, I think his roster percentage jumped up a lot because people were really interested in what he was able to offer. We thought he was going to get a look on power play 1. It did not last long. So I think the PP2 really hinders his top end value. Nonetheless, this power play is ranked 28th in the league, so it's not anything to write home about. Washington at the deadline were like low-key kind of sellers. Like they sold Dowd. They didn't really make any blockbusters. They sold Carlson. So I think the sentiment around the team is a little bit lower. But nonetheless, he's come back rejuvenated since his injury. And I think he has value to bring to the table, especially in face-off win leagues. It makes him even more valuable because he's getting those from the left-wing position. He's got 4 games this week. He's tied to a strong 5v5 line. I like him as a safe bet for production and some category coverage. Do I think he has the highest ceiling out of all the guys on this list? No, but sometimes you just want a safe play, and he's a guy that can deliver that for you.
Yeah, not much to add there, and I do like it. This next one
Yeah.
is interesting. All right.
This next one, I think I would have put slightly higher. Maybe I think this next
I
one I would have put a
agree.
spot higher, and I think I would have put personally Kreider over Dubois because I like the offensive capabilities of the Anaheim Ducks. But it's honestly really close. A lot of these guys are in the same tier. It's just about personal preferences.
I think I agree with you on the first part. We're putting this guy higher. We'll
Yeah.
talk about it obviously in detail, but I do like Dubois over Kreider. I think that's fair.
Okay. You like
So
Dubois over
we'll see.
Kreider?
I do.
Okay. I like
Yeah.
Kreider over Dubois, but there you go. Split the difference. Congrats,
Fair
Josh.
enough.
All right. So at number 6.
At number 6 of the New York Rangers, we have Alexis Lafreniere. It's important to distinguish that. You will see why.
Yeah.
Line 1, power play 1, 4 games this week, 4 games next week, and then 4 games the week after that, and the week after that as well. They have a 4-4-4 in the playoffs, and in addition to that, the Rangers also have 4 games this coming week. That's ridiculous.
This is why we were always talking about the Rangers playoff schedule and how elite it was.
Yeah. It's incredible. And to have him now be line 1, power play 1, like obviously the Rangers are not making the playoffs at this point. It's clear that they're going to finish close to the bottom of the Eastern Conference, which is extremely surprising based on what we thought coming in. But with Lafreniere, I actually think that all the Panarin trade especially, this is going to actually really bode well for his fantasy value rest of season. Every time I'm hyped on Lafreniere, he disappoints. So I'm sorry to everybody although I have to say, like, I've been very cautious about recommending him on the podcast. I don't think I've been like super high on him or anything like that, but I actually really do believe he's going to have a strong finish to the season.
I would have put him at number 5 on this list. Josh has him at number 6 and somebody else at number 5. Clearly, Josh did not learn his lesson. We'll talk about that. But
I agree, by the way.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. So we're on the same page, and Josh can suck it. But
all right,
that's not a bleep.
No,
but listen,
I don't know what that is.
We already covered the Rangers power play. They're 9th in the league, but that we might see that regress a little bit given there's no more Panarin. JT Miller's on IR. But I think those two guys being off the ice for the moment, it really helps Lafreniere's ice time. And these last few weeks, he's actually been delivering. I think we're seeing a consolidation of talent, and it might really help his value because he's going to get line 1, power play 1 minutes. And if he's playing 20 minutes a night, we can see the peripherals tick up. Like right now, he's hovering like just under 2 shots a game. I can see that being like a 2.5. The hits are not a huge part of his game, but you could get a hit a game. But it's mostly the points and the power play. Like he's been delivering on the points. He's been over a point per game over the last month if you're looking at the averages. I like what I'm seeing from Lafreniere. I'm not getting ahead of myself. I really think that, it could come crashing down. It could be poor on the ice and he gets demoted. Blah, blah, blah. A lot of options. But right now, I want him on my team. I'd be really willing to stream him. To me, I would have put him at number 5. Josh has him at number 6. Personal preference. 4 games this week. Left wing, right wing eligible. I really like Lafreniere.
Me too. I think, I think that I think the one thing with him, and then we'll move on to the next one, is that he's kind of alternated between being like a shots hits guy or a points guy in his career, and he kind of has to step into that, more points focused now if he is going to make this is his shot. Like we've said this year in and year out, but now it really is. So if he has a strong finish to the season, he could be part of the Rangers long term and like their long term plans. Otherwise,
he's got to be part of the
it's big for
him. They're blowing it up.
I know, but he's been young. Just like not good.
Yeah,
so
this
is like this is the first time he's been on the Rangers when they didn't have a great surrounding cast. That's really why I like the opportunity for him.
And we saw the trade deadline. Vincent Trocheck did not get moved. I think that just adds talent for this roster.
Yeah.
We saw, we're seeing Gabe Perreault kind of get a little bit of a look here too. Like if somebody expected him to be on this list, I think he's too low roster percentage that there's other guys that are just better. But Lafreniere, I think he's got no power play points, but he's on power play 1, and it's above average power play. I still think it remains an above average power play. So if the power play points start coming in, it raises the floor for his value, and I think that's what we're going to see.
That's it. Okay, let's move on to the next one. At
Number 5.
At number 5, we have Jordan Eberle, line 1, power play 1. He's had a very decent season this year. I think the fact that Laferriere has 4 games this coming week and 4 games the next week versus Eberle, who has 4 games this week, 3 games next week, and all the stuff we just said, I think it's safe to say that Kevin and I are confident in Laferriere over Eberle. Not to say it's not close, though. I mean, Eberle has been pretty solid all season. So,
I think Eberle is consistent. You know what you're going to get. It's going to be around 0.8 points per game, 0.25 power play points, 0.2, 0.25, slightly over 2 shots a game, and not really any hits or blocks. So honestly, very similar to the archetype of player that, we just spoke about, Alexis Lafreniere, and how he's delivering for fantasy right now. Lafreniere, I think, has a higher point ceiling. I think he's on a slightly better power play. I think the playoff schedule and the immediate schedule of just like this week and next week, I think plays in his favor. So I prefer that over Seattle's schedule. You just know that Eberle's role is secure and consistent. I think Laf has a little bit more volatility to him, and maybe that's why Josh prefers Eberle. But at this point of the season, I'm taking and he's on his team. Josh always gives preferential treatment to players that are on his team. You heard it here first. It's rigged. But for Laf, I think it's just a higher upside, and I'm willing to take the shot when it's this level of player. Both really good options this week. Both have 4 games. You kind of know what you're getting. It's an easy way to stream points. Last week, we recommended to stream Eberle as a top 3 recommendation. It didn't work out because I think Josh just said Seattle's dog awful. So I'm surprised he's going back to the well so quick. But when a guy like this is consistent, you have to mention him.
Yes. Okay. Then next one we have.
I thought you were gonna lay me up with like a at.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm trying to okay, I guess if the at is the easiest one, we'll do this. Okay.
The easiest one.
All right, let's move on to the next one. At
number 4.
Cool.
The chemistry is good.
Smooth, easy.
Cover, girl.
All right. At number 4 of the New York Rangers, we have Will Cooley, line 2, power play 1. I'm happy with Cooley over Laf on this list. The shots, hits can be great. Now that he has this opportunity on power play 1, I love it. And yeah, it's line 2 now, but I wouldn't be surprised if they try it on line 1 at some point. It's also without Trocheck. When Trocheck does, come back from injury, it's going to bode really well for whoever is playing with him. So I think it's going to be Laf, Zib, Trocheck, and Cooley. I think it's going to be kind of like a 2-2 on line 1 and line 2. You know what I mean? They're going to make that work. And those are probably going to be the top. Yeah, those are going to be the top 4 on power play 1 with Adam Fox on defenseman. So, yeah, the reason he's higher than Laf here, better shots, better hits. I like it.
I drafted this guy in the 6th round of our League of Record draft, and people made fun of me. They said it was a huge reach. And it was a huge reach at the time. But he has delivered. This guy is a banger stud. Like, we saw what he did last season. His role this season has increased. If you're able to pick him up going into the playoffs, he is currently 39% owned, so he's just making the cut into this 40% threshold that we have here. I love this guy. I've been waiting for him to be a playoff monster for me since the beginning, since I drafted him. Over the last month, he's averaging 3 shots, 3 hits. Now he's getting the points exposure too. I do think that he's at risk of getting bumped off power play 1. I think they could prefer Gabe Perreault there over him, just to see what the young kids can do.
Yeah. But, I guess that's fair. Yeah.
But I would not be surprised if they want to use Cooley as like that front presence. But he would still be at the same spot on this list, even if he was power play 2 in my eyes, because I do think that he has just so much value to bring. It's we try to include bangers guys on this top 10 points list when they're really valuable, and I think Will Cooley fits that mold perfectly. So if you have the opportunity to pick him up, if you're in a bangers league where you are banger management after all, he'd be an express pickup for me for what he can do for your team come fantasy playoffs.
Yeah, I think it's really it's a really good one, and I mean we've said this countless times, and I'll say it again. Any guy that could have been on the bangers recommendation but is in the points place, like he fits that mold better than anybody, and that's when you know it's a good pickup. So I think it's really, really good. Okay, moving on to the next one. At
Number 3. Oh, that was so good.
Nice. Good. There you go. That I felt it. I felt that one. That was great. Okay. At number 3, we have the alliteration king. A little ode to you over there, Josh.
CC.
Of the Columbus Blue Jackets, Charlie Coyle. Line 3, power play 1. Line 3 is never usually interesting unless you're the best player in the world. So, I mean, honestly, like, this has just been so surprising, but also just rewarding if you have him on your fantasy team. He's getting amazing shots, pretty solid on the hits and blocks too. The points have been great. I mean, power play exposure as well. It doesn't get better than this, honestly. And face-offs league, if you are in one of those with the right wing, I mean, yeah, he should be. He should be rostered, I'd say, in like 50% of leagues. Yeah, he really is.
The
He's
fact that
so
we're
good.
able,
And
the fact that we're able to
4
talk
games
about
this
him.
week, 4 games next week too. I was just gonna say, like,
Yep.
with that, like, we should not be able to talk about him the week after.
We've mentioned him so much already in the last few weeks. He's been a player that's completely rejuvenated his value on the Rick bonus. I really love Coyle. The fact that we're able to talk about him on this show, the fact that he's less than 40% owned is nuts. Go pick him up. This top 3, I think, or all of these guys are in must-own territory at this point.
Yeah.
Nothing much to add over what Jakey said. Like, he's hitting all the categories. Even with the deployment that he has, line 3 might seem scary, but he's arguably the most valuable line 3 asset in fantasy. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so good. And I mean, I was gonna say, I guess there's, like, just way more points leagues, but even in points leagues, he should be rostered. Like, he should.
Yeah, with what
No
he's
matter
doing.
what league you're in, 4 games this week, 4 games the next week, like, please pick up Charlie Coyle. You will be very happy with it. Okay, this one's also great. We have at
Number 2.
number 2, this is why we had to be very careful with the pronunciation earlier. Exactly. We have Alex Laferriere of the Los Angeles Kings. Line 2, power play 1. 4 games this coming week, 4 games the next week. I mean, yeah, he's just another one of those, like, banger league darlings. He's been so good in that all season. So, I mean, yeah, coming into the playoffs, like your fantasy playoffs, I really, really like it.
We have talked about Laferriere many times on this podcast over the last few weeks. After the Panarin trade, he was centering Panarin and Kempe. He has lost that deployment. He's now line 2 playing on the wing. But the new difference maker here is that he's finally getting exposure on power play 1. With the loss of Fiala, with the loss of Kuzmenko, with the loss of Byfield, he has now found his way onto that power play 1, and it's still a pretty solid unit. Like, they still have their main guys. I mean, Kopitar is there too. Kopitar, Panarin, Kempe, Clark, Laferriere. This could be what is needed for him to really click, because he's a banger league stud. Where his shots, hits combo was elite. He has some face-off wins to him as well. Maybe less now that he's not on the line 1, but the power play 1 could really be a big difference maker here. He's still an express pickup in my eyes.
Yeah, totally agree. And you actually, like, I mean, Coyle's been like a point per game recently, right? He's been tremendous. Over the last 2 weeks, so basically since the Olympics, Laferriere is really not doing so well in the points category. He's about 0.4 points per game, yet he's still so tremendously valuable because of the banger cats. So I think if you still have the opportunity to pick him up, like, this is like has league winner written all over it for bangers leagues.
You temper expectations because the power play is not like an elite unit, but it is improving when Panarin and Clark are now clicking more.
Right.
So I'm really excited about this.
New coach too.
Yep, new coach. So
that's it. All right. Yeah, that's a big one. And then we all know this guy.
Yes.
We've spoken about him a few times before. At
number 1.
At number 1, the plural of Matt. We have Matt Zuccarello. Line 1, power play 1. 4 games this week, 3 games the week after. So, look, this section is for this coming week, and I agree that he is the best player for points to own this coming week. I will say, if I'm comfortably in the playoffs and I'm planning ahead, there's a world in which I'm taking Laferriere.
Yeah, or Coyle or Cooley, depending on the type of league you're in.
Exactly. So this, I mean, we've spoken so much about Matt Zuccarello at this point. It's like, it's just one of those basically kind of Ryan O'Reilly-esque, like he's going on an absolute tear, yet he's still under the threshold, so we could talk about him. The points are so consistent, have been all year. Really, really good. I just think that going into the playoffs, there are like this is like a really depending on where you're at. If you need to make the playoffs, pick him up. If you're comfortably there, I'd maybe lean Laferriere or Coyle, like you said.
Matt Zuccarello is a guy that is always on this list. He averages 0.9 points per game, 0.3 power play points, 2 shots a game. He's on the third best power play in the NHL. The deployment is consistent. He's surrounded by all-star talent. Minnesota is a championship contender. The only knock against him is his playoff schedule is bad. Minnesota has one of the worst playoff schedules. It's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, it's 3 games in all 3 championship weeks for weeks 21 to 23. It's not the worst thing. There's no 2-game weeks. It's just that you don't get really many off nights, and other teams have better schedules. But he's still so consistent, and that's why he's always at the top of this list, because if you need to win your matchup in week 20, you need to stream points because your opponent has a good points team. Zuccarello's the guy you want because you know it's safe. He's got 4 games this week too. He could get you 4 points. He could get you 5 points.
Yeah. No, I mean he absolutely can. So it's it's gonna be interesting. We'll see how it shakes out. I mean, I think that this is like definitely the safest points choice over here. Okay, let's dive into our top 5 bangers for this week.
Now, I was gonna say, honestly, like all these guys are so similar that I don't feel bad listening to them. Like we can just list them 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and go from there, because they all have 4-game weeks. Hits are all of their specialties. Some of them are slightly better at points, but all of these guys are less than 20% owned, widely available for you to change the matchup in your hits. Should I just list them 5, 4, 3, 2, 1?
Sure.
All right. At 5, we got Jack McBain, Mendoza. Josh almost dropped him in our league of record. He was debating making a post in the Discord being like, guys, I might have to drop this guy. We'll talk about it. But then at number 4, we got Bobby McMahon, newly acquired Seattle Kraken.
Yeah. He could actually have some points.
Yeah.
Like of anybody on this list, like he could get some points.
Yeah. He's the guy that I think is the most likely to get points. Actually, maybe number 1. Depending on the week, but we'll give you a little bit tidbits on each of them. But number 3, we got Jacob Melanson of Seattle. Number 2, we got Yakov Trenin, Minnesota. Number 1, the GOAT, the best player in fantasy, Matthew Olivier of the Columbus Blue Jackets. This guy, if you picked him up to meme Josh or I in the weeks that we played against him, you were heavily rewarded, because all he did was deliver for you in the shots, hits, and points. It's nuts. You look at his game log, it's straight zeros. Then he plays me, he's dropping 4 points. He plays Josh, he's scoring back-to-back games. How does this make any sense? Nobody knows. The Olivier curse is real.
That's it. Yeah, well said on that one. Melanson's hits are nuts, like actually nuts. It's the same archetype as Trenin. Bobby McMahon, he's the only one who actually has like decently relevant shots, although McBain has his games here and there. But I mean, Bobby McMahon can actually get you some points, I would say. Although, let me just verify something really quickly before we dive deeper. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the other guys?
I mean, to me, if you need hits, you're streaming Melanson, you're streaming a Trenin, because those guys are like the pure hits guys that will get you like 4 or 5, if not more, hits a game. So if you want a one-dimensional hitter, those are the guys you pick up. McBain, McMahon, and Olivier have a little bit more of balance to them. Their hits threshold is a little lower. They'll get you like 2 to 3 hits, but they can get you more shots. They all have 4-game weeks. I think Olivier, listen, we put him at number 1 because he's a stud when he wants to be, but next week he's not playing Josh or I, so he's probably not getting any points, but he'll still get you a lot of hits. McBain's archetype has changed a little bit because he's not playing with Gunther anymore, so he's lost a little bit of that points upside. He's not also playing center, so he's lost the face-offs upside as well, which I know for Josh was a big component of why he was on his team, but he's still really good for, shots, hits, in that way.
Yeah, I don't have much to add there. I was just verifying to make sure that we had the 4 games this week, 3 games the following week with McMahon, and we do, because he just got traded.
Yeah,
but
on Seattle.
Listen, it's definitely interesting. We'll see how it goes of this list. I agree. Olivier makes the most sense with 4 and 4. Okay, let's get into our top 3 quantity goalies. We could go through it in a similar way because I feel like also these are really tremendously valuable. But I mean, your call.
Yeah,
You want
I
to do
mean,
it the
we will
similar way?
rank them. We will rank them 3-1. So number one, obviously, I think is the most valuable. Then two, then three. But
Yeah.
let's talk about them. They're all, you kind of feel like they're in a similar tier, but I do think number one has a step above the rest. These are all
Yes.
goalies that are less than 40% owned that will get you 2 starts at least this upcoming week. So at number three,
Yep.
we got Anton Forsberg of the LA Kings. At number two, we got Joel Hofer of the St. Louis Blues, and at number one, potentially the starter for the Montreal Canadiens, we got Jakub Dobesh.
So, I mean, look, Dobesh to me, I was confident in saying this when we spoke about him versus Montebo a few weeks ago that
Mm-hmm.
he's going to be the guy. Firmly believe that is the case, although he got wrecked in his most recent game, but then Montebo also got wrecked in the game that he played right after
Yeah.
that. So, yeah, he's got 2 guaranteed games this week. It's Toronto, Ottawa back to back. Habs can win either, then San Jose, Anaheim back to back. I mean, that's also it's an interesting one, but they could win those games. Hofer probably is gonna get, yeah, he's probably gonna get 2.
I think Hofer gets
Uh,
the Islanders game. Sorry, he probably gets the Islanders game, then is gonna get the Edmonton game. That would be my guess. But if he
yeah,
doesn't start the Islanders game, he's probably getting Carolina and Winnipeg. So then you just gotta monitor. But either way, it's 2 starts, which you want. He's been better than Binnington stats wise.
yeah,
But the St. Louis team is not a team that's going to be going into a lot of matchups as the favorite. So this is like, you're looking for starts, not necessarily the highest quality, but he can deliver.
yeah, and it's not out of the range of outcomes that he gets 3 games. Just saying, but unlikely,
Yeah,
but worth
I would say
mentioning.
unlikely.
Yeah, okay, and then yeah, I guess Anton Forsberg. Look, I
They got
mean,
2 back-to-backs as
LA.
well.
Yeah, he got 2 back to back, so he is getting those games. Tough opponents though. I mean, Boston's I guess the easiest one that they have this coming week,
Yeah, they
in
have
New Jersey.
it's Columbus, Boston, so he'll play one of those games, and then Islanders,
Yeah,
New Jersey, he'll play one of those games. So you're hoping that he plays Boston, you're hoping that
yeah,
he plays New Jersey, but either way, the Kings are kind of like on a downward spiral right now. He did get a shutout not too long ago.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Before they fired Hiller,
yeah,
the
before they
game
fired
before.
Hiller. Um,
Yeah,
I think these guys are ranked in the odds that I would say of how likely they are to get a win, because I think
yeah,
Dobesh is going to get the most wins. That's why he's at number one. I think he's a clear step above the 2 other guys. The other 2 guys I would put in a similar tier.
yeah, yeah. I concur. But pick up Dobesh for sure.
Yeah,
And then let's get into our top 3 quality goalies. I'll list these ones off. But really, like, I mean, Dobesh or Hofer, I would definitely rather over these 3. Just want to give a good profile there.
yeah. These are spot
Not
starts.
spot starts exactly. They're gonna get you 1 game this week, less than 40% owned. Top 3 quality goalies: Devin Cooley at number 3. Number 2, we have David Riddick, and then number 1, Philip Grubauer.
Yeah,
Grubauer could win either of these games,
yeah.
Vancouver, Florida.
So let's go in order. Cooley's got, Calgary's got a back-to-back with Washington and the Rangers. I think both of those teams, not as intimidating as they once were, let's say. But Calgary is not one of the best teams either. But Cooley has some good quality in him. Like, we've seen him post like really good statistics, even if the team is losing. He is number 3 on this list just because I think you're not, when you're streaming a spot start, you always want to try to bank on getting a win. And I think these
Yeah,
other 2 goalies probably give you better odds at that, and that's why they're ranked higher. David Riddick,
agreed.
Islanders got a back-to-back. It's LA or Calgary. Um, I mean, I would hope they get Calgary because that feels like, the easier matchup to win. LA is also not super intimidating. The Islanders are actually pretty good. And Riddick has not been bad in spot starts this season. So I think he's got over a 50% chance of winning either of those games. And then I think Grubauer is the guy that, Seattle is still fighting for a playoff spot.
Yeah,
He pushed the cord for the starting position earlier this year, right? Like he had a stretch of games where he was like really elite. We kind of said it was like it was a run that was going to come to an end, and it did. But the Seattle team against either Vancouver or Florida, that's the back-to-back they have. So he's starting one of those games. Both teams not really intimidating. Florida's kind of punting at the deadline. Vancouver is arguably the worst team in the league. I would be comfortable starting him against either of those teams and bank on a win.
well said. Not much to add there. All right, that wraps up our Week 20 waivers episode. If you enjoyed this show, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Rate us 5 stars. give this video a like on YouTube and subscribe to our channel. You could see the link to the Discord community in the podcast description, whether you're listening on YouTube or Spotify. And all the socials are in the podcast description as well. Anything to add there? A post-face, if you will?
Post-face, pre-face to post-face. Stay tuned for the next episode where we will be covering everything trade deadline related, all the news, all the injury updates, the signings, the trades. We're going to cover all of it, all the fantasy ramifications. So you're going to want to look out for that episode. And listen, good luck, everybody, leading into your fantasy playoffs. This is the last regular season week for most leagues. So you got to make it count. If you have any questions for your lineup, please drop them in the Discord. If not already in there, this is the time to be there. You've been putting it off. Now's the time to get in, win your championships. So we're here to help. So listen, I can only put it out there. It's up to you to take the actions.
Love that. Love that. All right. You want to be Ernie or am I Ernie?
I'm never Ernie. You are Ernie.
All right. I'm taking it away now. Ba-da-ba-bam-bam. Banger Management Fantasy Hockey Podcast. Woo!
Woo!